Hey everyone, welcome back to Path of Exile, and in today's content, a Blade Flurry Raider using the Saviour. And we are gonna use Blade Flurry for everything. DPS, clear, you name it. We're also gonna be building for Impale, dual wielding a Paradoxica, becoming elemental ailment immune and also melting a lot of things in today's video. And to be frank, I was quite happy to see this character work as good as it did. And I say that because the general consensus is that you don't build Blade Flurry with the Saviour. There is a good reason as to why though, as the AI of the clones tends to derp out rather often when using Blade Flurry, and you'll catch them stuck channeling Blade Flurry a couple screens away from the action. But it's okay because they compensate on the single target, which turned out rather naughty, and you'll see that from Sirus and an Uber Elder fight later on in the video. Anyways, today's Thanksgiving, and while I know that not everyone in the world celebrates it, it's always good to be thankful about something, and in my case I am grateful to be able to post these videos and entertain some of you with my rambles. It's been a rough year for a lot of us, but hey, at least it's almost over, and we're still here kicking, which I'm also thankful for. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving guys. And with all of that said, remember to subscribe if you enjoy the content, otherwise a rating and a comment are always appreciated. And now, let us talk about Fresh Mint Saviour McFlurry DPS. As always, the Ascendancy is first. This is a raider that pretty much focuses on frenzy charges and onslaught. There is not much to explain here as it's pretty self-explanatory. Moving on, this is a level 94 character, and we side with Alira for the crit multi and resistances, and for Pantheons, Brian King and Shakari, though you can go with either Solaris or Lunaris too if you want to. Alright, so for the fun stuff, we are gonna start off by taking life, dual wielding stuff, more life, a frenzy, a jewel socket, crit chance and sword crit stuff. From there, we move towards the duelist area grabbing life, dual wield crit, dual wield DPS, iron reflexes, life, a jewel socket, a frenzy, more dual wielding stuff, and life. From that point, we climb towards the Zion area, aiming for life, impale, attack speed and rage, and we're also going to socket a lethal pride with warriors under Akoya here. This is going to turn Eternal Youth into Chainbreaker so that we can passively generate rage. This rage is for single target purposes, specifically to trigger Berserk. Finally, we move downwards grabbing Aura stuff, impale, sword crit, fortify, melee crit, life and instant war cries. The last point that you should take are those instant war cries, so 93 should be more than enough. And for the regular jewels on the tree, we've only got 2 of them. A Watcher's Eye with crit multi while affected by precision, though you can also go with Pride DPS mods or other DPS with precision or combine them both, but that's up to you. The other jewel has increased maximum life, accuracy and crit multi. Anything else that you can get here is fine. Mana cost barely does anything, so it's not necessary. However, I will advise getting a jewel with physical attack damage leached as mana, otherwise you'll need that mod somewhere else in your gear, so keep that in mind. Also, I'll be using Blood Rage for both DPS and Life Leech, which is why I didn't take any of that in the tree. But if you want to go that route, try to get it on the jewel or somewhere else in the gear. Anyways, that's it for the skill tree. Pretty simple, nothing crazy, so let us take a look at the gear that the build requires. Okay, so let us begin with the weapons, the Saviour and his best friend Paradoxica. The Saviour spawns 2 projections on crit, which together deal up to 100% of your damage, while certain rare or other unique one-handers deal larger DPS numbers in paper. It is in practice where the Saviour shines. Paradoxica is here because it is very difficult to beat for a one-hander, but a rare thrusting one-hand sword with at least 450 physical DPS is equally strong or better. Moving on to the helmet, it is the good old trusty Crown of the Inward Eye. And for enchantments, attack speed while Ancestral Protector is up is best, but Blood and Sand buff effect or Blade Flurry damage are good as well. For the body armor, we want an exploded chest with life and resistances, but if you can get power charges on crit or Awakener Slammy to attacks have extra crit chance, that is also good. Yes, it sounds a bit expensive, but this late into the league I think you can afford to get yourself a nice comfy body armor. Anyways, for the boots, we want a relatively thick pair of legs. We need resistances, life, movement speed and chance to avoid elemental ailments, as high rolls as you can get. Try doing what I did though, multi-mod the stuff that you require, so that it's easier and cheaper in the long run. The amulet has resistances, life, crit chance and feast damage to attacks. Also, I bench crafted mana cost for channeling skills, and I anointed Panopticon for even thicker DPS when the totems are up. One of the rings has elemental ailment avoidance as the implicit, and I crafted it by spamming essences of spite until I got the roll on screen. In your case, life, accuracy resists intelligence, and if you can benchcraft anything else, that's good enough. The other ring has vulnerability on hit as the implicit, and it was crafted with the essences of Scorn until I hit the roll on screen. In your case, life, resistances, accuracy, the crit multi, and anything else that you can benchcraft is perfectly fine. For the belt, life, resistances, and we benchcraft increased damage. Though if you can slam a Hunter Exile and get increased maximum life, that is also really good. The jewel on the belt has life, resistances, and crit chance. If you are lacking any attribute or accuracy, try to get them here. For the gloves, I'd suggest that you get them last. That way you won't be dependent on resistances or any other stuff, and you can focus on pure DPS like mine. Life, accuracy, fist damage to attacks or attack speed, and we benchcraft the last elemental ailment Avoidance Moth. Thanks to the mods on the gear and the thick skin wheel, we are immune to Ignite, Shock, Chill and Freeze, which is super useful and I will totally recommend investing into that. It is up to you though, so if you wanna skip those mods and focus on chaos resistance, more life, DPS or other stuff, go ahead. Finally, for flasks, a diamond, a lion's roar and a sulfur flask. And to wrap up this character, the gem setups. In the body armor, Blade Flurry, close combat, impale, melee fist damage, brutality and fortify. In the boots, flesh and stone, pride, blood and sand, and we are gonna link them to enlighten level 3, optimally level 4. In the helmet, Vaal ancestral warchief and phantasmal ancestral protector, linked to blood magic and empowered. In the gloves, a level 1 precision, dread banner and berserk. Also a portal gem if you want it. In the Paradoxica, Enduring Cry and Flame Dash both link to second wind, and in the Saviour, Blood Rage. And with all of that said, let's conclude this episode of Saviour Memes. To be honest, I was left impressed by the build. The naysayers will tell you that Blade Flurry is neither a clear skill nor a skill for the Saviour, and that is due to the close range nature of it and the behavior of the clones, which are both valid counterpoints, but this character said no to those and delivered hours of fun. Sure, the clear is still a bit rough, but we compensate with Explodey Chest, so no many complaints there. Single target, especially fully buffed, is really good. Blade Flurry has always been a strong skill, since its inception when it had multiple screen map clear potential, or all the way to the time where people were abusing Shaper statistics on unintended dual wield memes. Yes, Blade Flurry has been nerfed and changed a couple of times already. It was the original channeling DPS skill, but it's still really strong and this character showcases that. Now, yes, the build itself isn't what I'd consider cheap, because it is not. This late into Heist though, I think it's justifiable. Though next league with the return of Harvest, and maybe early on, this should not be as expensive to build. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of Impale, Blade Flurry, the Saviour or Melee as a whole, then I'd say that this is pretty much worth doing. And that is pretty much it for the character. However, as we all know, Heist is overstaying its welcome. Thanks to Cyberpunk, we won't see a fresh league until January, but Triple G has announced the events until 3.13's launch. Considering the fact that both Mayhem and Delve week-long events are voided, I am thinking of just simple characters that will allow us to comfortably push for level 95, so be in the lookout for those later next week. I also mentioned the possibility of posting something non-Path of Exile on the channel, and that's still up in the air. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but don't be surprised if it does. And with all of that said, I'm out. Thank you so much for watching today's content, I hope that you enjoyed it and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Take care, have a nice weekend and I'll catch you again soon with more content. Peace out.
Is life really interesting enough to warrant all this pain? Die.
I have seen beyond.
Die.
This city is nothing. Rain of stars.
On the edge of death, my heart races. I am alive.
Everlasting fire.
Something. My mana is gone.
Gaze into the abyss.
Gaze into the abyss.
Bruh.
I'm not up to that just
Embraced
yet.
by misery. Gaze into the abyss.